Have you seen the film?
No.
I've seen it. He's got a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I was there. I
Yeah.
knew when he was filming. You know, I think the comfortable aspect came in because he was so respectful of my space, even when it was very private moments. I really didn't know he was there. I knew, especially the first day, I was like, are you sure you want to be here? This is so boring. And I was aware of him for maybe a moment, but he very quickly got to know, I think, the way that I am. And, you know, having cameras in your face a lot is difficult. And so why on top of that would I want to have one follow me all the time, every single day, unless it was somebody that I was really excited to see artistically how he viewed my life.
Why tell this story now?
I think it was the reaction of my friends and family that saw it after the first few rounds, quite a few rounds of editing had been done. They told me it was beautiful. My best friend since growing up, Bo, who's here with me on the road, she watched it, she loved it. My sister loved it. You know, I guess that's all you can really ask for and go by. I love a great artistic, creative experience. And part of that sometimes when you're the subject is honoring that that's what you are and that it's not your thing to control. This film is not my vision. This is Chris's vision. This is just, I'm just a party to this because it's my life. And I told him when he could come in and film. And there was very few times that I think I told you no. Well, quite simply, if I was in a state of mind or a place in that moment where I just didn't want a camera in my face and I was very aware of him there, I would say that would be the main reason, is that I was overwhelmed and needed space.
It's an interesting time in your life, too, that you're documenting.
It's been almost exactly 10 years since this all started, and I was making music long before then. So it's kind of incredible to be doing this.
Was it a challenging time?
Yes, but I mean, that's not to say that there were not extreme highs. And my life has completely changed in the most wonderful way that I would never take back. But for sure, it also included the lowest lows. I have heard this film to be about is that there is a positive message behind it and me as a woman, and I'm happy to show that. The most important thing to me in this whole process is that this film or documentary didn't come across like a big commercial for me of, you know, everybody watching it and seeing how perfect I am and how perfect my career is and how perfect every little thing that I do and touch is, because that is just simply not true.
This is a great moment where you talk about the Madonna situation, and I was like, oh shit, they put that in. You know, like that went in there. You probably don't know that it's in there, but it's in there.
Oh, I know it's in there. I'm just not sure what it's going to sound like.
I mean, you know what? I loved that moment as it was happening, and I wasn't even sure whether or not it would make it in the film, but for me, like, it felt like it was a way for people to really understand what kind of woman she is because of the position she took, and it was so measured and thoughtful. And you know, I knew people would like ping on it because it's kind of juicy, but really, it's not. It's not like that. It's actually about kind of morality, which I thought was cool.
There's a scene in the film where all of a sudden addressing the Madonna situation, and Lady Gaga just says, "Like I'm Italian from New York. Like if I had a problem with somebody, I'd tell it to their face." You know, and it was this really human, raw, just moment where somebody was saying, like, "Why are you coming down on me for this?"
What are your thoughts about Grace Jones? You know, she's seen with the creative masks and hats and outfits. And
I love Grace Jones. I always have. She's a friend. She's a good person and a very strong woman. So I don't have a negative thing to say about her. In terms of what responsibility do artists have? Well, I guess the first thing I would say is I think we all have a responsibility to use our voices for positive. I don't think it's just my responsibility or just people that are celebrities or famous. I mean, social media, this is the first time that pretty much every single person in the public, if they choose, has a microphone to speak. Everyone should be using their ability to speak for good, not just us. Should we, and do I pay attention to what I say? Because I know people are listening and I know that I have a lot of followers. When I do, for sure I do. But the one thing I didn't agree with you on that you just said is, and you know, coming from Billboard, right, is do you have to do more than just make music? And you know, music's pretty powerful. It can be more powerful, and I would dare to say is infinitely more powerful than a tweet or an Instagram post with a selfie of me and a statement about what I think about the world. Music has the power to heal people in a way that it's vibrations, it's science. When music happens and it comes out of the speakers, there are things that happen in your body and in your spirit that are not the same as what you feel when you're reading the internet. So that's what I would say, is I would say that everyone should do their part, and that part of artists being good at what we do, I think, is making sure our perspective is strong in our music and that we know its power and that we use that power.
I was wondering what it was like to open up about the chronic pain that you've experienced.
It's okay. It's hard. But it's liberating too.
What was capturing those moments like?
Yeah, I mean, it was incredibly hard, just on a basic, fundamental human level, to be near somebody who's experiencing pain like that, and knowing that there's nothing you can do, and clearly there's nothing that they could do. At least it doesn't feel like they can at that moment, because they've been trying everything, and so it's beyond just filming. I mean, I felt compelled to continue to roll, and I knew that she wanted me to, because that was something of all the things I think that she felt should be included in the film. I think she was very aware about other people who struggle with similar chronic pain, and not knowing how they deal with it if she is not even sure how to deal with it. And I think that's a reality, is that even in her position, physical pain is disabling, and her way of trying to overcome it is just, I think it's impressive to watch.
Is there a catharsis for you in this project, going through this?
Yes, there is, because the main reason, knowing what you filmed, knowing what I know to be included in the film, because I was told that there were moments like that, there is an element and a very strong piece of me that believes that pain is a microphone. My pain really does me no good unless I transform it into something that is. I hope that people watching it that do struggle with chronic pain know that they're not alone. I hope that they see the message at the end of the film that I know to be there. I wanted that to be there for people to be able to reach out about mental health, anxiety, as well as chronic pain and mental illness. There is a degree of self-deprecation and shame that goes along with feeling in pain a lot. I want people that watch it that think that there's no way that I live that way because they see me dance and sing, and that it couldn't possibly be so, to know that I struggle with things like them, and that I work through it, and that it can be done, and that we have to stick together, and that I don't have to hide it because I'm, afraid it is weak. It's a part of me, and I'm grateful to Chris for caring. The compassion is overwhelming. That's why it makes me emotional. It's like very touching.
Personally, what do you hope to do in the next year, 5 years? What are you looking forward to?
I'm gonna take a rest. I don't know how long. That doesn't mean I won't be creating. It doesn't mean I don't have some things up my sleeve that I'm not gonna tell you today. But I'm looking forward to reflecting and slowing down for a moment and healing, because that's important. Doing the Super Bowl this year was kind of like, as much as it was for the fans and as much as it was for the world, to entertain the world, as I said, this is my most important and favorite thing to do, is to entertain people and make them happy. It was also for me. It was like, I'm going to take this. Everything that I've worked for, that I've claimed, that I have believed in, the message that we've all spread together, I am going to put this trophy on the top of Everest and do it for myself. it's almost like the Super Bowl and this film are like a hedge of protection on my legacy of the past 10 years. And it's a nice place to be because I am surrounded by such wonderful people.
Is it a validation? Is that important to you?
I feel validated from within.
Yeah.
I don't think it's healthy to look outside to other people for validation. I think it's much better to focus on the inside of you and validate yourself. I work hard and I'm proud of the hard work that I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey, you